friends, happy November. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to what I was hoping to be weekly vlogging for Nonfiction November, but this might turn into like 1 or 2 vlogs because let me tell you, I have not got much reading done these first couple weeks with health issues and with the election because man, no reading got done. Election week. I'm feeling very much more at peace with it now, knowing that Joe Biden is president-elect, but like we knew that we weren't gonna know, but I don't know if I was emotionally prepared for that week, or really just November as a whole. It just hasn't been great, but it's getting better. There's always hope, and yes, but I just wanted to share what I plan to start reading with you now that I finally finished Ask Again Yes, which I loved. Probably going to make a top book of the year, but I'm going to start reading She Come By It Natural, Dolly Parton and the Women Who Lived Her Songs. I'm hoping that this will be a quick read, that I'll finish it super fast, and then also 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You, that I'm going to read a little more slowly, like a chapter a day. So that's what I'm starting today. It's Friday. I'm hoping to get some good reading done this weekend. And then I'm also going to start listening to today, because I finally finished Hollowpox and it was amazing. But I'm going to start listening to The Warmth of Other Suns today as well. I've just started knitting. You can see my little sticks up there, and so yes, I'm hoping to get some good audiobook listening while I knit. But yes, I'm finally gonna start picking up some nonfiction, and I'm so pleased. I hope that you enjoy my little clips. That's all of those things before. That's what's been happening in my November so far. Not that much reading, but the reading will start today. All right, I will catch up with you later. Checking in for another update. I think I might have alluded to it a little bit in my last clip, and maybe not, I don't know. Regardless, we've been having a little bit of a tough couple weeks, tough November really in my household. My husband works in healthcare, and because of the pandemic has been having some health issues that have just created like a lot for us in my household. And I've for this whole week been by myself with Judah trying to work from home, and it's been a lot. And I had such grand plans for Nonfiction November, and nonfiction has just not been what I need, and I haven't been wanting to pick anything up because I just feel like I need a little more escapism than nonfiction is able to offer me. I kind of want to get wrapped up and lost in a story, just because there's been a lot of heavy stuff that we've been dealing with, and everyone is okay, and I think everyone will be okay. I guess it's more just going through the hard things right now, but that being said, my reading is taking a little bit of a pivot. And so last night I picked up and started reading Beartown by Frederick, Bachmann. I've been waiting for the cooler months to get to this, and I was just looking at my shelves thinking, like, you need an escape to get wrapped up in. And I know this book deals with really hard and heavy themes, which I'm okay with right now. That's not something that I don't feel like I can handle, but I do want like an atmospheric story to get wrapped up in, and I think this is just what the doctor ordered. I've read another Frederick Bachmann, Britt Marie Was Here, and I liked it. The ending didn't quite nail the landing for me. I do think Frederick Bachmann, and I don't know if it's just the translation, but can be like a little, can be a little obvious in his writing, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think every paragraph or like every end of a section will kind of like end with this like really poignant sentence, and it doesn't feel smooth. It feels very intentional. And again, I don't think that's a bad thing. Honestly, kind of reminds me a lot of like Louise Penny and her kind of writing style. It it just doesn't always like, I don't always love the writing style, I guess is what I'm going to say. Even though it is beautiful, it sometimes, I think it pulls me out of the story because of how intentional some of those, maybe even like a little didactic, like the ends of like the paragraphs are. I don't know. It's very interesting. But he still writes a very compelling story. That sounded like a criticism, and I don't even necessarily think it's a bad thing. It's something that's maybe not always to my taste, I guess. I like it to be a little more subtle than he is, maybe. But that being said, he still creates such a fun world to get wrapped up in, and such a compelling world. And I say fun, like this deals with some really heavy topics. I think rape, and I haven't got there yet, but rape is definitely a huge trigger warning in this book. But I think this is the type of novel that I need right now. And so we're gonna fall into it. And yeah, I read 50 pages last night, which was, well, let me see. I read 47 pages last night, which is more than I've read physically in weeks. So we're just gonna go with this. And then I also started 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You by Tony Rinke. I've read the introduction and the preface, and then John Piper wrote a foreword. So I've read all of that. So we'll be ready for chapter 1 soon, and I kind of just hope to read maybe a chapter whenever I feel like picking it up. They're pretty short, but they're 12 chapters with the 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You. I think that books about technology can kind of go too far sometimes, of like, get rid of it all sucks, and that's definitely not his perspective. And so I appreciate that going in, someone who uses and sees technology as a benefit to our society, but how do we use it well, and how do we master it versus like it mastering us. So this is written from a Christian perspective. John Piper's a bit of a giant in our house, but he might not be a total household name. So he wrote the foreword, and then Tony Rinke does like the Ask Pastor John podcast. And so yeah, I am very like appreciative of the perspective it's written from. Like, as a Christian, like, I value that perspective. So I'm always wanting a better relationship with technology. So that was quite chatty. I have not read much of either of these books, but I guess I had a lot to say about them. But just wanted to check in. Yeah, it's been a tough couple weeks, tough month really, but we're getting through it, and I'm glad that I've like taken the pressure to read nonfiction, or only nonfiction, off of myself right now. I'm also hoping to start The Warmth of Other Suns today. I'm actually going to go do some dishes, and I'm going to listen if it will ever download to my phone. All right, that's my update. I will check in with y'all later. I feel like everything in this vlog has looked too idyllic, so I need to like show you my messy floors. And instead of cleaning them, I took some nap time to knit. It's like all rolling. I don't know, I'm probably doing something wrong, but I'm pretty proud for like some of my first stuff. I feel like it looks pretty good, so it's probably gonna be a dish towel or something, but anyway, hashtag proud of myself. Oh, and you know, life. So my dishes are clean. You probably can't see, but they are. And then also, for just a little reading update, still trucking along. I don't know it's over here. Still trucking along in Beartown. Gosh, I just have such like a love-hate relationship with Bachmann. Like, his stories are so compelling. Like, I get started and I don't want to stop, but his writing makes me like roll my eyes a little bit. I don't know quite what it is about it. It just feels a little cliche, I think. So, and that could be the translation. I don't know. But it's a very compelling story. And I'm already like, his characters, you get so wrapped up in them. He has a way of like drawing you in and really making you care about the characters. So, trucking through that. And then I started Anne's House of Dreams, which I believe is the 5th book in the Anne of Green Gables series. I needed something cozy and also something that would download onto my work phone, because The Warmth of Other Suns, I don't think I have enough room maybe for the 22-hour audiobook. And my personal phone, the headphone jack's not working. So I can't listen to it like when I'm on walks or outside with Judah. So I'm just doing something cozy and light and super easy to listen to. And while I did my little knitting that I so proudly showed you earlier, I listened to that, and it's just like a perfectly lovely book to read while knitting. It's also really gloomy outside today, so I just needed that coziness, but I wanted to give you a little update on what I've been reading. It would be awesome if I could finish all 6 of like the main books this year. That would be awesome. So we'll see if we can get that done, of the Anne of Green Gables books. But anyway, happy Friday. I think that's all I needed to update you on. Hello friends, I really need to wrap up my November vlog. We are officially into December, and man, November, as you've seen in the mini clips, has just been a struggle, and it definitely has taken a toll on my reading. I'm still trucking along in Beartown, and I am enjoying it. I'm about a third of the way through, and yeah, I haven't made much progress at all, but I do have grand plans to really buckle down and read it this week, but we'll see. Who knows what life will throw at us. But yes, all of the things that I've said about this book have held true unto this point. The writing style for me is a little quirky and different and doesn't always sit well, but he writes really compelling stories that I'm very invested in, and his characters are just so lovable and compelling and infuriating at times. So I'm gonna finish this book for sure. I don't think it'll be a favorite, but who knows, it might surprise me, but I'm definitely enjoying it enough, and the cold cozy setting is perfect for December. I'm also working my way through 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You by Toni Rinke, and I'm really enjoying that one. It's really making some good compelling arguments, but also just a really challenging book about the role that phones play in our lives and how we can use that for good and not for bad, and for kind of the detriment of our mental health and physical health and all of those things, spiritual health. So I'm definitely enjoying that one. Reading it a little slower, but I'm about halfway done. I did finish the audiobook Anne's House of Dreams. I was a knitting fiend and knit myself a little head earmuff thing, and I'm very proud of it. It's over there. I've been wearing it on my runs and my walks outside. So yes, I zoomed through knitting that, and I listened to Anne's House of Dreams while I did it, which was just so cozy and perfect, the perfect book to read while knitting, and it was lovely. It's very similar to Ella Montgomery's writing style, but I must say this probably is my least favorite one, and I did read some reviews about how Anne's kind of softened maybe, or she's a little more suppressed. That sounds like a bad word, in her marriage. And while I get those arguments, I absolutely get those arguments, I also just think she's becoming more of an adult and just looking at things in different eyes. Like, she still is bubbly and just sees the magic in the world and is still just such a light, but I do think there is some aging that's coming with her, and maybe that's part of marriage. Maybe there were some like marriage constraints in this time that affect that. But I think it's been coming in the books. Like every book, she just becomes a little more serious and it's just a little more changed by life, and a little more I don't want to say hard, because I don't think that's a good word to describe her, but yes, just a little more just rooted in the experiences that she's had. And I definitely think some of the other characters really shine in this book. We meet an old sailor named Jim who runs the lighthouse, and he's such a fun character. There is a neighbor that kind of is just chatty, and it's just very easy to rile up. And while she's a lot of fun, she makes a lot of like appearances, and it's just like chapters of the book. And it just wasn't my favorite to hear her kind of be bitter all the time about different neighbors and things, just because it just gets to be a lot, and you're just, all these names are being thrown at you and you don't really like know who these people are. You're not really grounded in who they are. There's tragedy in Anne's life, and there's joy in Anne's life. And I'm very glad to have continued on, though I probably did give this one 3.5 stars, which is the lowest that I've rated an Anne of Green Gables book. But I only have one more, right? 6 in this kind of like central series, and then there's some other kind of like expansion books, but I do hope to maybe finish it this year. That would be lovely. But it's been so fun to grow and see Anne grow with Anne, and to see Anne grow. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to finishing it up. Anne of Green Gables was definitely one of my favorite books from 2019, and so I hope to finish the series up. But yes, that's really all I've been reading at the end of November. I started The Searcher by Donna Tartt, and I'm really loving that. I haven't started any other physical books because I really need to make good progress in Beartown and 12 Ways Your Phone is Changing You. But yeah, here's to a hopeful December. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Very sad. I should do like a compilation of the books that I actually read, because like I put my TBR in the beginning of this, and then we can kind of do a what actually got read, which was a whole lot of nothing. But sometimes that's the way life goes, and there's books are always there, and they are always kind of sitting there as little bits of hope, hopefuls to be read. So some other, that wasn't the time, but maybe some other time will be. All right, friends. Happy Vlogmas Day 2. I think this is going up for Vlogmas Day 2. So talk to you later. Bye.